Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself. Who is making noise? Okay. So last time in last lecture we had seen code procedure, different types of codes, right from introduction to forensic medicine. We had seen introduction to forensic medicine, some of the important definitions. What we are going to study in the subject forensic medicine. Then we have seen different types of codes in India. Then summons. Then conduct money in the summons only. Then what is dying declaration? What is the medical legal importance of this dying declaration, as well as dying deposition? What is the difference between dying declaration and dying deposition? Now we will start with next new topic, that is exhumation. And I tell you, out of 10 exams, remember, out of 10 exams, 9 times exhumation is asked as a 5-mark short note. Very commonly it is asked as a 5-mark short note. And when it is not asked as a short note, there is always going to be 2-mark question, means maybe define exhumation, or what are the requirements of exhumation, like that. It is asked as a 2-mark question also, but very commonly it is asked as a 5-mark short note. So I have already told you the meaning or definition of the word, the definition of the term, that is exhumation. So exhumation is lawful disinterment or digging out a buried body from grave. So if any dead body has been buried in the ground, it is to be taken out. That is lawful disinterment or digging out the buried body from the grave. The procedure is called as exhumation. What is the aim of exhumation? What is the aim of exhumation? Identification of the person or the dead body who has been buried in the ground. Then identifying the cause of the death, by what thing that person, whether it was suicide, whether it was homicide, whether it was accidental. If it is homicide, how that person was killed. That is to identify the cause of the death first. Yes. Yes. क्या क्या? अच्छा, ओके. पूजा. ओके, पूजा, इकरा, पूजा, उर्वी, सोनिया, भावना, सुशांत. ओके, added. Janvi added. Rishi added. अरे यार, लेट कमर्स प्लीज टेक केयर. Okay, I will continue. So exhumation is lawful disinterment or digging out the buried body from grave. It is done for identification of the dead person, identifying the cause of the disease, investigating the cause of the disease. Exhumation is not so common in India because, according to the regional customs in India, the large population follows the process of बर्निंग द बॉडी. मतलब हमारे यहाँ ज़्यादातर जलाई जाती है बॉडी. दैट्स वाई ये एग्जीमेशन का ज़्यादा हमारे यहाँ नहीं होता. ओनली इन सर्टन क्रिमिनल केसेस this exhumation is required. Otherwise it is not so common in India. And there, importantly, legally there is no any time limit in India. Means you can dig out the buried body. You can dig out the buried body maybe after 1 week, maybe after 1 month, maybe after 10 years. Whenever that case will come in front, and whenever that requisition or requirement for investigation will come in front, so the body can be taken out at any time after his death or after his burial. So there is no any time limit in India. So you can take out the skeletal also. If such a case comes in front, maybe after 5 years, 10 years, the skeleton can also be taken out of the grave, and it can be investigated for identification and so many things. Police officer cannot order. Police officer cannot order exhumation. The order of exhumation can be given only by magistrate or by the coroner. In Mumbai, coroner, and in the rest of the India, only magistrate can order the process of exhumation. So simple exhumation is digging out the buried body for identification of the dead person, identifying or investigating the cause of the death, and only police, only magistrate or coroner can order exhumation. Now we'll see the process of exhumation. So what are the general precautions? What are the general precautions for exhumation? First thing, supervision of medical officer and police officer. The supervision of medical officer, so a doctor should be present at the time of digging out the body. So supervision of a medical officer and police officer after receiving an order from magistrate or coroner, magistrate or coroner. So when magistrate or coroner will give the order for digging out the buried body. hmm, late comers. Okay, added. uh, when the order for uh, exhumation is given by magistrate or by the coroner, it should be carried out in presence of a doctor and a police officer. Then before digging out the body, there has to be a witness to identify the coffin and dead body. मतलब जिस जगह पे हमें अभी वो सब खोद के सब डिगिंग करके वो बॉडी बाहर निकालनी है, यू शुड हैव द विटनेस हु वाज प्रेजेंट एट द टाइम ऑफ बरियल ऑफ द बॉडी. तो ऐसा ना हो कि दूसरी किसी की बॉडी निकाली बाहर. सो देयर हैज टू बी विटनेस to open the same coffin and to take out the required dead body. So witness should be there to identify the coffin as well as dead body. Then important thing, it should be started in early morning. Exhumation, the process of exhumation should be started early in the morning in privacy, and the whole process should be completed in one day. मतलब ऐसा ना हो कि वो गड्ढा खोदते खोदते दोपहर हो गई, बॉडी निकालते निकालते शाम हो गई और बॉडी रख दी गई तो कोल्ड स्टोरेज में या गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में. ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. वॉट एवर द प्रोसीजर इज देयर, द होल प्रोसेस ऑफ exhumation and that investigation should be carried out in one day, and again the body should be reburied. So the process should begin early in the morning so that the whole process will be completed in one day. It should not be carried forward to the second day. Then second, these are the general precautions in presence of medical officer and police officer and witness to identify the coffin and the dead body. The second step in the process of exhumation is identification and opening of the grave. Identification and opening of the grave. So you should identify with the help of witness. The grave should be identified. देन देयर हैज टू बी स्क्रीन अराउंड द ग्रेव. तो जहाँ से डिगिंग करना है वो प्रोसेस स्टार्ट करनी है, उसके आजू बाजू में पर्दे लगाने हैं हमें. सो स्क्रीनिंग शुड बी देयर बिकॉज इट शुड बी डन अंडर प्राइवेसी. ऐसा ना कि वहाँ 20-25 लोग खड़े हो गए वो देखने के लिए और सब देख रहे हो, ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. सो इट हैज़ टू बी डन इन प्राइवेसी. दैट्स व्हाई स्क्रीन शुड बी मेड अराउंड द ग्रेव. देयर मे बी टेम्पररी स्क्रीन, यू नो, ऐसे रोड पे वगैरह ऑब्स्ट्रक्शन के लिए खड़े करते हैं, just like that. The screens should be there around the grave. Then the body should be taken out carefully. The careful digging should be done to avoid damage. The careful digging should be done to avoid the damage to the coffin and to the body. Then in suspected poisoning, if that person is means you are suspecting that that person is dead by poisoning, the earth sample should be collected. So how the earth samples are to be collected? Earth sample मतलब वो कॉफिन के आजू बाजू की जो मिट्टी होगी उसके थोड़े थोड़े सैंपल लेने पड़ेंगे. So earth samples from above the coffin, below the coffin and from sides of the coffin. So approximately 500 grams of that earth or sand should be collected from nearby the coffin and control samples from distance. तो जहाँ बॉडी है उसके आजू बाजू में ऊपर नीचे और साइड से मिट्टी लेनी है और थोड़ा सा दूर से, थोड़ा सा डिस्टेंस से भी वो लेना है, सो दैट यू विल कम टू नो. Hey, keep quiet. Who is making noise? Who is shouting? Please mute yourself. Everyone, please mute yourself. So, in the suspected cases of poisoning, earth samples should be collected from above, below, and sides of the coffin and from some distance for control. Then, this is the second step while identification and opening of the grave. Then, third is identification of the coffin. तो वो कॉफिन एक्सपोज हो गया गड्ढा बनाने के बाद, सब डिगिंग करने के बाद, top of the coffin should be cleaned, it should be raised to the surface and lid is lifted to escape the gases. The lid of the coffin is to be raised so that the gases, those bad smelling gases will escape, and that is to be opened depending upon the direction of the wind. And everyone who is present nearby, that police officer, medical officer, magistrate, and whoever represent those workers, laborers and all, they all should wear the mask. And depending upon the direction of the wind, तो जिस डायरेक्शन में विंड बह रहा है उसके अपोजिट साइड में उन्हें खड़े रहना है, ताकि वो उसकी जो भी गंदी बास आएगी, they will not suffer from that. So depending upon direction of the wind, the lid is to be lifted. Then identification of the body, order by magistrate or coroner for reburial or autopsy. तो body बाहर निकालने के बाद, once that body has been taken out, the medical officer will decide whether the postmortem examination is required or not. So autopsy or postmortem examination is required or not, that will be decided by magistrate or coroner with medical officer. And if autopsy is required, the autopsy can be done in usual manner in the mortuary. तो वहाँ से body गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में ले जाएगी और वहाँ उसका पोस्टमार्टम होके वापस वो बरी करने के लिए आएगी। या अगर if the body is not in the condition to be carried to the government hospital for postmortem examination can be done just beside the grave. The medical officer will immediately perform that postmortem examination and will ask the body to be reburied. So either in usual manner in mortuary or near the grave, depending upon the condition of the dead body. So this is in short about the exhumation. So exhumation is lawful disinterment or digging out the buried body from grave. It is generally done for identification, to determine the cause of the death, and police officer cannot order exhumation. It can be ordered by magistrate or coroner. Then general precautions we have seen: identification and opening of the grave, what care should be done for identification of the coffin, how the its lid is to be lifted, how it is to be opened, then identification of the body, and performing the autopsy or not, whether in the mortuary or near the grave, and accordingly the decision is to be taken by the medical officer. So this is about exhumation, short topic but very commonly asked as a 5-mark short note. Now we will immediately go to the next topic, medico-legal autopsy. Medico-legal autopsy is also called as post-mortem examination. Autopsy means examination after death. So medico-legal autopsy. Now it can be confusing because the question is asked as explain in detail post-mortem examination or explain in detail yes, yes. का रे एवढ्या लेट येत आहे? एवढी लेट का येता रे तुम्ही मग? बर बरेच आहेत, नुसरत, सुशांत, श्रद्धा, निकिता, बरेच आहेत लेट कमर, विनोद, काजल. Okay, added. Okay, yes, okay. Okay, and now we'll start with the next topic, medical legal autopsy, also called as post-mortem examination. So it is commonly asked as a 10-mark question. Medical legal autopsy is asked as a 10-mark question. So medical legal autopsy or post-mortem examination. So what are the objective? Why we perform the post-mortem examination? कोई भी आदमी अगर मर जाता है तो उसका पोस्टमार्टम करने की जरूरत क्यों होती है? So we will see the aims or objectives of post-mortem examination. Now by the time since last 3-4 lectures with junior class, you might have come to know how I have written these points in my PowerPoint presentation or these notes, and how you will have to answer in your exam. So just it is exam oriented. Whatever the points I have mentioned here, they all are absolutely exam oriented. I just go on explaining these points. So when you will follow these notes during the exam time, it will be very much time saving. So you can have a look at these notes within hardly 2 or 3 hours just before exam or on the day of exam. So it will be very easy for you to read and easy for you to understand, provided you have studied all these topics from the textbook, because these are only notes, these are only points from which I am explaining you everything. So you will have to study from the book, and then by going through this, once you have completed a topic or all those things from the book, then you can easily follow these points for better and rapid understanding. So medical legal autopsy, you will come to know how it is to be written in your exam. So first you will have to write the objectives of post-mortem examination. So objectives first very important is identification of the person. तो जो भी dead body, whatever the dead body that has been carried to the government hospital for postmortem examination, first thing the doctor will have to do is identification. कौन है, उसका नाम क्या है, उसकी उम्र क्या है, all these things. So there has to be identification. And what will help the medical officer for identification? That requisition form, that request for post-mortem examination which has been given by investigating police officer. That may be police, that may be coroner, or that may be magistrate, whoever has said after performing the inquest or preliminary inquiry about that incidence of death, the body will be sent to the medical officer for post-mortem examination along with the requisition form. So this requisition form will be given by the investigating officer, either coroner or magistrate or police, what we call it as panchanama. So that the copy of panchanama will be there along with the dead body when the body will be sent for post-mortem examination to government hospital. So first important thing is identification of the person. Second important objective of medical legal autopsy is cause of the death, कि बाबा इस आदमी की मौत किस वजह से हुई है. So cause of the death is to be investigated thoroughly by the medical officer who is performing medical legal autopsy. So cause of the death, whether it is natural, whether it is unnatural. If it is unnatural death, whether it is suicide, whether it is accident or homicide. So cause of the death, whether it is natural or unnatural. If it is natural, no question of further investigation. But if it is unnatural, whether it is suicide, कि इस आदमी ने सुसाइड की है क्या, इस आदमी ने इसकी एक्सीडेंटल डेथ हुई है क्या, या उसे किसी ने मारा है क्या, उसका किसी ने खून किया है क्या, मीन्स whether it is homicide. So this medical legal autopsy or post-mortem examination report will help us to confirm whether it is a suicide, accident or homicide. Then next important thing that you will have to investigate from post-mortem examination is time since death. मतलब उसे मर के कितना टाइम हुआ है. Now we are going to discuss this particular point, that is time since death, separately in the changes after death. So whatever the changes that are taking place in the body after death, they have been grouped as immediate signs, early signs and late signs. So immediate signs hardly within a few minutes after death. The early signs maybe for 24-36 hours, and late signs means the decomposition of the body starts after 48 hours, 24-36 hours. When the decomposition of the body starts, what changes take place in the body. So depending upon the changes taking place in the body, the doctor, while doing the post-mortem examination, doctor can have some idea about time since death. So there are some examples like rigor mortis. There are certain changes taking place in the body like post-mortem lividity, thermal changes. As the person dies, the body temperature goes down. So depending upon the drop in the body temperature, you can have some idea about time since death. Then depending upon the changes taking place in the muscle, the doctor will have good idea about time since death. And thirdly, post-mortem lividity. Now I will not go in detail with this, I'm just giving you example. Post-mortem lividity is staining that is taking place on the body after death. So when that staining appears, on which part it appears first, how it becomes darker and all. So depending upon the changes taking place in the body, like temperature, drop in the temperature, rigor mortis, that is stiffening of the muscles, body kadak hone, body kadak ho jati na marne ke baad. So what time is required for the stiffening of the body, and by what time that stiffening of the body again passes off, it will help the doctor for determining the time since death. So you will have good idea about the time since death depending upon the changes taking place in the body after death. Then in case of newborn infant, in case of newborn infant, the important thing that doctor will have to investigate whether the baby, the newborn baby was born alive. So in case of infanticide, if it is a case of infanticide, what is infanticide? Killing the newborn baby. So if there is any case of infanticide and such a newborn dead baby has been sent for the post-mortem examination, what doctor will have to investigate whether baby was alive at the time of birth or whether it was stillborn. Stillborn means the baby was already dead before the birth, so it was just a stillbirth, what we call. तो मतलब उसकी डिलीवरी के पहले वो यूटेरस के अंदर ही मर चुका था, बाद में उसका डिलीवरी हुई, बाद में उसका बर्थ हुआ है. Or the baby was born alive and later on the baby was killed. The baby was born alive and later on it was killed. So in case of infanticide, So very important investigation that doctor will have to do is whether the baby was born alive and later on the baby was killed. That will be very important legal issue or legal thing. Whether the blame of infanticide will be there on any person or not. Then important another important thing, in case of mutilated skeletal remains, मतलब ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि कई सालों बाद, महीनों बाद, सालों बाद एक आधी बॉडी गड्ढे में से निकाली एक्सुमेशन करके, तो हार्डली कुछ, सिर्फ तुम्हें वो मसल्स या सॉफ्ट टिश्यू दे ऑल हैव बीन डिस्ट्रॉयड, कंप्लीटली डिसअपियर्ड, ओनली स्केलेटल रिमेन्स आर देयर, सो सिर्फ स्केलेटल मिल गया तुम्हें. सो यू विल हैव टू डिसाइड वेदर इट इज ह्यूमन, दूसरे किसी एनिमल के है या ह्यूमन के ही है. एंड once it is confirmed कि ये स्केलेटल ह्यूमन का ही है, सो यू विल हैव टू गो फॉर कॉज ऑफ द डेथ, किस वजह से मरा है ये आदमी, अगेन वेदर इट वाज सुसाइड, एक्सीडेंट और होमिसाइड. एंड थर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, टाइम सिंस डेथ, कितने महीने हुए हैं, कितने साल हुए हैं, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द केस विल रन इन द court. So while examining the mutilated skeletal remains, while performing the post-mortem examination on mutilated skeletal remains, the first thing to confirm it is human, secondly cause of the death, and thirdly time since death. Now what are the, so these are the objectives: identification of the dead person, identifying the cause of the death, whether it is natural or unnatural, and if it is unnatural, whether it was suicide, whether it was accident, or whether it was homicide. Then important is time since death. So these are the important objectives of post-mortem examination. Then what are the requirements? What are the basic requirements for conducting or performing post-mortem examination? The post-mortem examination can be performed by a registered medical practitioner. That means only a legal doctor, who can, who is having good or adequate training or experience in forensic medicine, who is having good knowledge of forensic medicine. That's why we are studying forensic medicine in our course. So the doctor, registered medical practitioner who is having adequate training or experience in forensic medicine. Then the examination should be complete with all positive as well as negative findings. Positive as well as negative findings. So if there is some history of, I give you example of negative findings. If the person in the say in the Panchanama report, or maybe during the history of that case, their history has been written as the person has got head injury. The person is dead because of head injury, but no skull fracture. You are getting, the person is having history of head injury, but on postmortem examination skull is not found to be fractured, negative finding. Then there is some history of struggle कि हाँ ये ऐसा ऐसा मारा मारी हुआ था, दो चार लोगों का मारा मारी हुआ था जिसमें वो मर गया. So the history of struggle is there, but there are no defense injuries on the body. Now what is defense injuries? When you try to protect yourself, whatever the injuries occurs, when you will try to protect your head with the hand, there will be injury on the ulnar side of the forearm. So like that, when you will try to protect your abdomen, you will bend, so the injury will be on your back. So that these are the sites where there will be defense injury. So the documents are suggesting that there was a struggle at the time of the person is died because of some struggle or quarrel, but no defense injuries are found on the body, or no other signs of struggle like tear of the fabrics, tear of the clothes, and all these struggle signs of struggle are not found on the body. That is negative finding. So this negative finding should also be written on the post-mortem report. So examination should be complete with all the positive as well as negative findings as per the record. Then information with records, sketches, photos, x-rays. So whatever the findings you get, if possible take the photo. Nowadays because of mobile, it is very easy, you can take the photographs, you can even take the videos. So the information should be with the records, sketches. Previously जो भी दिखता था डॉक्टर को, he used to draw the sketches on the report कि वह ऐसे ऐसी जख्म है, उसका ऐसा ऐसा size shape ऐसा ऐसा है. Nowadays you can take simple good photograph with the help of mobile. So information should be complete with detailed records, sketches, photographs, and x-rays. In case of fractures, if there are fracture of the skull, fracture of the limbs, upper limb or lower limb, the x-rays should be taken and they should be preserved with the reports. Then evidentiary materials when obtained, it should be properly preserved. तो उसको injury को लेके जो कुछ भी, yes, तो उसके बॉडी पे या उसके कहीं भी जो भी उसे मटेरियल मिलेगा, सो वट एवर दैट एविडेंशियरी मटेरियल विल बी, दैट शुड बी प्रॉपरली प्रिजर्व विद पैक एंड सील. सो प्रिफरेबली इन द प्लास्टिक कैरी बैग. all those content, like maybe bullet, if the bullet has been found in the body, that should be preserved properly. So like, or any other foreign thing that has come from some other person on his body, that should be what we call it as evidentiary material. It should be preserved properly and should be made available in the court during the case, and report should be submitted to the court of law. So this is the requirement. It should be performed by a registered medical practitioner. Examination should be complete with positive as well as negative findings. I just given a few examples. Then information should be detailed records, sketches, photos, and if required, even the x-rays in case of fractures. Then precautions. What precautions will do? We'll take precautions. First is authorization. There has to be authorization. आइए कहीं से बॉडी और कर दिया उसका, आइए कहीं से तो बॉडी और कर दिया उसका पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन, ऐसा नहीं चलेगा. देयर हैज टू बी authorization. Authorization, that is request by coroner. Just I told you, request by coroner or by investigating officer or by magistrate. So there has to be authorization. What we call it a dead body challan. Dead body challan is asked as a 2-mark question. I have given the details of dead body challan. So the medical legal autopsy or post-mortem examination cannot be done without this dead body challan. So dead body challan, I have already told you, the name given to it is dead body challan. So dead body challan is the requisition. It is the requisition along with the dead body by the investigating officer to the medical officer. Matlab, we have seen in the inquest carried out by police, what we call it as police inquest. So if the police has done panchanama and all, so he will send the dead body for post-mortem examination. So not only the body will be sent for post-mortem examination. So what the police will have to send? The police will have to send dead body challan. Dead body challan is asked as a 2-mark question. So how you will write the answer? So it is the requisition. Dead body challan is the requisition sent along with the dead body to the medical officer to perform the post-mortem examination. So what are the details written on the dead body challan? Name, if the police officer knows the name of that person, or he comes to know while doing the panchanama, he comes to know the name of that person. Then approximate age, you can come to know, हाँ ये 25 साल का हो सकता है, ये 40 साल का है, ये 60 साल का है. Depending upon his physique and external appearance, you can have good idea about the age of the person. So name, if full name is known, you will have to write the name on the dead body challan. Age, sex, religion, if you know, then suspected cause of the death. तो पंचनामा करते वक्त वो पुलिस को जो भी उसका सस्पेक्टेड कॉज ऑफ डेथ लगेगा वो भी वहां लिखना है. एंड पर्पज ऑफ ऑटोप्सी, पर्पज ऑफ पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन, इसका पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन क्यों करना है, दैट इज टू बी रिटन ऑन द डेड बॉडी चलन. देन द प्लेस एंड डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम वेयर द बॉडी इज ब्रॉट. वो बॉडी कहाँ से आ रही है, कहाँ से भेज रहे हो तुम. ये फॉर एग्जांपल समझो अपने कंसे कॉलेज के पास रोड पे कहीं तो हाईवे पे एक्सीडेंट हुआ है और बॉडी या तो आले फाटा के ओतूर के गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में भेजनी है या नारायणगांव के गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में भेजनी है. वो द पुलिस ऑफिसर हु हैज डन द पंचनामा देयर एट द साइट ऑफ एक्सीडेंट, we will have to write the place and distance from where the body is brought. बॉडी कहाँ से आ रही है कि हाँ संगमनेर रोड से आले फाटा से इतनी डिस्टेंस पे एक्सीडेंट हुआ था, वहाँ से हम बॉडी भेज रहे. नेम ऑफ द पर्सन अकम्पनिंग द बॉडी. तो एम्बुलेंस में वो बॉडी के साथ तुम जिस आदमी को भेजोगे, दैट मे बी any relative or any attendant or even the one of the panchas or maybe even a police constable. So whoever person is accompanying the body, his name should be written on the dead body challan. And articles and clothings with the body. So उसके body पे जो भी रहेगा, गले में कुछ है, हाथ में कुछ है, कपड़े क्या पहने हैं, कैसे कपड़े हैं, all this detail should be written on the dead body challan. So you got the meaning of dead body challan. So I just tell you again in short, dead body challan is the requisition that is to be sent along with the dead body by the investigating officer. It can be coroner, it can be police officer, it can be magistrate, to the medical officer to request him to perform the post-mortem examination. What will be written on it? Name, approximate age, sex, religion, suspicious cause of the death, suspected cause of the death, and purpose of post-mortem examination will be written on dead body challan. Then place and distance, the place and distance from where the body is brought, name of the person accompanying the body, and articles and clothing, whatever on the body of the person, all the details of these things are to be mentioned. So this is dead body challan. It has to be there along with the dead body. Otherwise, medical officer can deny or officer can reject to perform the post-mortem examination. There has to be some legal document which will request him to perform the post-mortem examination. So these are the precautions. Authorization, that is dead body challan. And inquest, just start with the inquest report or panchanama. So opinion of police and witness, if that inquest is performed by police, that panchanama report will be there. One copy, we have seen one copy of panchanama report should be there along with the dead body, which will be given to the medical officer who will be performing the post-mortem examination. So opinion of the police and witness regarding the injuries, मतलब उसके बॉडी पे जो भी तुम्हें इंजुरीज दिखेंगी, कहीं इंसिजन है, कहीं चाकू से है, कहीं गोली से है, whatever. So whatever the details of injury, the police officer and the witnesses and those panchas will find, they should be mentioned on that inquest report. And the manner of their causation, कि ये इंजुरी किस चीज से हुई है, किस चीज से हो सकती है, and cause of the death approximate. The police officer may not be sure about the cause of death because of lack of medical knowledge, but whatever the cause of death he is suspecting should be written on the panchanama report. And सस्पेक्टेड फाउल प्ले, अगर उसे ऐसा लगता है कि ये इसे किसी ने तो मारा है, इसे किसी ने तो उसका खून किया है, तो अगर वो सस्पेक्टेड फाउल प्ले उसे लगता है, सो दैट शुड आल्सो बी रिटन ऑन द पंचनामा रिपोर्ट. सो ओपिनियन ऑफ पुलिस एंड विटनेस रिगार्डिंग द इंजुरीज विच आर प्रेजेंट ऑन द बॉडी ऑफ द विक्टिम और बॉडी ऑफ द डेड बॉडी, they should be written in detail on the Panchanama report. And one last line I have mentioned in bold, it in all the accidental deaths, post-mortem is required to rule out the foul play. मतलब इसे किसी ने मारा नहीं है, ये एक्सीडेंट से ही डेथ हुई है, ये कंफर्म करने के लिए each and every death by accident is to dead body which has occurred because of accident should be sent to the post-mortem examination. So whenever there is any accident, कहीं भी रोड पे हो, कहीं भी अगर एक्सीडेंट होता है, तो ईच एंड एवरी डेड बॉडी इज सेंट फॉर पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन. ऐसा ना हो कि उसे किसी ने तो मारा है और एक्सीडेंट का सीन क्रिएट किया है. So that is also very important. So all the cases of accidental deaths, post-mortem examination is compulsory to rule out the foul play. Now we will see the exact procedure of post-mortem examination. First is identification to avoid post-mortem examination on wrong body. ऐसा ना हो कि पुलिस ने दूसरी कोई एक डेड बॉडी भेजी है और डॉक्टर ने दूसरी किसी डेड बॉडी पर ही पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन किया, ऐसा ना हो, क्योंकि बहुत सारे डेथ्स भी हो सकते हैं एक ही इंसिडेंस में. सो लार्ज नंबर ऑफ बॉडीज कैन कम एट अ टाइम. सो हर एक बॉडी का परफेक्टली पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन होके उसका रिपोर्ट उस बॉडी से संबंधित ही होना चाहिए. सो देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी चायोस और कन्फ्यूजन. So to avoid autopsy on the wrong body, the body should be identified properly. Then in all the medico legal postmortem examination, in all the medico legal autopsies, where the identity is unknown, note down all the particulars for identity. Now we are going to discuss the identity chapter separately because it is also asked as a 10-mark question, personal identity. After this topic we will take personal identity only. So personal identity के लिए क्या क्या होगा, उसके ऊपर कुछ तो मोल होगा, कुछ तो पुरानी इंजरी होगी, कोई बर्थ मार्क होगा. सो वॉट एवर द आइडेंटिफिकेशन मार्क्स आर देयर ऑन द बॉडी, दे शुड बी मेंशन इन द पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन, सो दैट द पोस्टमार्टम शुड नॉट बी डन ऑन द रॉन्ग बॉडी एंड देयर हैज टू बी प्रॉपर आइडेंटिफिकेशन मार्क्स. सो व्हेन यू आर नॉट श्योर अबाउट द आइडेंटिटी ऑफ द पर्सन, किसी को अननोन डेड बॉडी है, नोट डाउन ऑल द पर्टिकुलर्स ऑफ आइडेंटिटी लाइक मोल, any old injury mark, or whatever the birth marks are there present on the body, they should be mentioned properly in the post-mortem report. Then if possible, the doctor should visit the scene of the crime, particularly in case of murder. अगर किसी को उस डेड बॉडी मतलब उसकी मौत किसी के मारने की वजह से हुई, if it is a case of murder or in case of poisoning also, the doctor should, if possible, the doctor should visit the scene of crime. So in case of murder, poisoning, traffic accidents, road traffic accidents, a doctor should visit the site of accident. Sexual offenses, again very important in case of rape, if the girl or woman has been raped and later on killed, the thorough investigation should be carried out, and in case of firearm injuries also. Wait, let all the students come in. We'll take hardly for 5 or 10 minutes, not more than that. Wait, let me admit all. Mute all, please mute yourself. Nisha, Nisha, Renuka, please mute yourself. Vaishnavi, Renuka. चलो चलो जल्दी 55. Divyashri, mute yourself. Pooja, mute yourself. Archana, Shivani. 59. चलो hurry up. Should I start? We will continue. So, identification. Identification to avoid the autopsy on wrong body. Then, when the identity is not known, all the particulars regarding the identity of the dead body should be mentioned in detail. Then, visit the scene of crime. If possible, the doctor should arrange a visit to the scene of crime. You can hear me? Okay. Uh, okay. Visit the scene of crime. In case of murder, poisoning, traffic accidents, sexual offences like rape and all, and firearm injuries, the doctor should arrange the visit at the scene of incidents. Then post-mortem examination should be immediately started on arrival of the dead body. The process should immediately be started when the body will arrive. It should be preferably done in daylight, in the daytime, and all the days of week including public holiday. कि बाबा आज छुट्टी है, आज रविवार है, आज दिवाली है, आज ईद है, बिल्कुल नहीं चलेगा. Postmortem examination should be done 24 into 7. I will not say 24 because not at the night time. Preferably it should be done in the daytime, but in all the days of the week including public holidays. कि बाबा आज रविवार है, आज नहीं करूँगा, कल करूँगा, नहीं चलेगा. It should be done immediately when the body will arrive in the government hospital for post-mortem. Then external examinations. In external examination, you should see for body temperature, because body temperature will give you good idea about time since death. Because after the death, the body temperature will drop, and depending upon the drop in the body temperature, you will come to know how much time has passed since the death. So record the body temperature and see for approximate time since death. Another important thing is post-mortem lividity. In external examination, I am still in the external examination. So in external examination, see for body temperature, see for post-mortem lividity. What is post-mortem lividity? When the body is lying down, the blood will gravitate on the depending parts of the body. So say for example the body is in supine position, so all the blood will gravitate towards the back, towards the back, and it will cause staining of the body. That is called as postmortem lividity. It will take some time. So accordingly you can have some idea how much time has lapsed since the death has occurred. Then rigor mortis. Rigor mortis, immediately after death the muscles get relaxed, and after 12 within a 12 hours period the body gets stiff. All the muscles in the body become stiff, and that stiffness will give you good idea about time since death. So rigor mortis is stiffening and shortening of the muscles of the dead body. Then external injuries, if there are any external injury on the body, they should be recorded very carefully. So that injury is either because of knife or because of the bullet or by sword or by any other weapon or any other instrument. You will have good idea about the weapon or instrument which has caused that particular injury. So that is very important nature of the external injuries. Then no unauthorized person should be allowed during post-mortem examination. So while performing the post-mortem examination, there will be doctor who is performing the post-mortem and maybe his assistant or the staff present in the government hospital. Otherwise, no unauthorized person should be allowed during the post-mortem examination. And another thing very important, you might have heard this term so many times, you might have read it in the newspaper also, preservation of viscera. So during the post-mortem examination, if the doctor is not sure about the cause of the death, if doctor is not, even after performing or completing the post-mortem examination, the cause of the death is under inquiry, you can go for the preservation of viscera. So when we will advise the preservation of viscera, if investigating police officer request, इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग पुलिस ऑफिसर डॉक्टर को रिक्वेस्ट कर सकता है कि बाबा आपका पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन प्रोसेस कंप्लीट हुआ है, फिर भी आप इसके विसरा प्रिजर्व करके रखो, हम फॉरेंसिक लैबोरेटरी में भेजना चाहते हैं, तो डॉक्टर विल हैव टू प्रिजर्व द विसरा डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द request by the investigating officer. Then the suspicion of poison, if there is suspicion of poison by the medical officer, if medical officer is suspecting for poison but not sure, he should preserve the viscera and send it to the forensic laboratory. Then not sure about the cause of the death, postmortem examination पूरा होने के बाद भी if the medical officer is not sure about the cause of death, he should go for preservation of the viscera and further investigation. And decomposed bodies, if the bodies are that dead body is completely decomposed, so many soft tissues organs are completely destroyed where you are not sure about the cause of death, you can go for preservation of some parts of the body. So preservation of the viscera if investigating officer is requesting, if medical officer is suspecting for poisoning, if the medical officer is not sure about the cause of the death, and in case of decomposed body you will have to go for preservation of the viscera, which will be investigated thoroughly by forensic laboratory FSL. देन लिस्ट ऑफ आर्टिकल्स, तो डेड बॉडी तुम्हारे पास आई मेडिकल ऑफिसर के पास पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन के लिए, सो व्हाट एवर द आर्टिकल्स रिमूव फ्रॉम द बॉडी, पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन करने के लिए उसके बॉडी पर से तुम जो कुछ भी निकालोगे कपड़े, सो ऑल द डिटेल शुड बी रिटर्न प्रॉपरली, क्या क्या कपड़े थे, क्या क्या पहना हुआ था, व्हाट ज्वेलरी वाज देयर, उसके गले में कुछ था क्या, कान में कुछ था क्या, हाथ में कुछ था क्या, कंगन थे क्या, पायल थी क्या, सो ऑल दिस थिंग्स व्हाट एवर यू हैव रिमूव्ड फ्रॉम द बॉडी it should be mentioned in detail. And bullets, पोस्टमार्टम एग्जामिनेशन करते हो तो उसके बॉडी से अगर बुलेट निकलती है, so that bullet should also be preserved in proper with label, seal and label. So articles removed from the body like clothes, jewelry, other articles on his body or inside the body like bullets and all, that should be mentioned in detail. And everything that has been removed from the body, that is handed over to the police with seal and label. It should be sealed and with the proper label. So okay, this slide we will see on the next lecture. Tomorrow's lecture we will see external examination of the body. I think this is enough for today. Okay, and don't leave, I will end the meeting for all. I will end the meeting for all, don't leave right now. Okay, thank you everyone, thank you.